Ever since people found out I'm not the real young master, all my classmates were super excited. They didn't want to make fun of me. They finally got to see what a poor person looks like. Finally, there's someone eligible for the poverty subsidy spot. My adoptive parents aren't like the mean and snarky ones in novels, who just kick you out of the house right away. When the real young master threw snarky remarks at me, no one paid him any attention. They asked what I planned to do instead. Since your biological son is back, of course I'm going to find my birth parents. I took a sip of hot tea. Muyawi thought I was raised really well. I always handle things quickly and cleanly. Too bad we're not blood related. No matter how polite and proper I am, I'm not as good as the biological son. Of course, Muyawi didn't try to make me stay. The Mu family will give you 3 million wen. You're on your own from now on. The kindness you showed raising me will always be in my heart. Muyawi responded with a soft hum. Pack your stuff, old Lu will drive you. I put down my teacup, stood up, and headed upstairs. When I reached the stair corner, Mu Xuan's voice came from behind me. Your birth dad's family is super poor. You won't have space for too much luggage. Those luxury items are useless there anyway. Don't make a bad first impression. I glanced at Aunt Sun, who was waiting nearby. Throw away everything I don't take with me. Mu Xuan froze on the spot when he heard that. Throw away all the stuff you don't want. Those are all limited edition designer goods. Even a random one is worth a fortune. How is this not burning money? I found his words so ridiculous. I went straight upstairs and grabbed a small backpack. I only put my ID documents and phone inside. I didn't take anything else at all. I left the Mu family home without any regret. The car dropped me off at an old residential community. I looked up at the house number. I knocked on the iron door after confirming it was right. Looking at her weathered face and eyes, I immediately knew this was my biological mother. I broke into a smile. I think I'm your biological son. Mrs. Ye froze right away when she heard that. We stared at each other through the iron door. I asked politely, Can I come in first? Mrs. Ye suddenly snapped back to her senses. She quickly opened the iron door and invited me in. She poured me a glass of warm water. She looked a little awkward. I took it and had a sip. I briefly explained how we got swapped at birth. Mu Xuan is the Mu family's real son, and I'm your son. Mr. and Mrs. Ye had guessed this might be possible before, but looking at their elegant, well-bred biological son right in front of them, they couldn't help feeling nervous and awkward. I had already looked up the Yi family's information beforehand. I have a rough idea of all the family members. Do you have any questions for me? This didn't look like a family reunion at all. It looked more like a business negotiation. Mrs. Ye asked nervously what I wanted to eat. I had a soft smile on my face. There's nothing I'm craving in particular. Mrs. Ye stood up and glanced at Mr. Ye. I'll go to the wet market. You call Zixi and the others. Tell them to come home right away. I heard the iron door outside creak. I stood up and walked out of the room and saw my biological sisters. My smile was soft and gentle. I'm Mu Chen. Hearing that deep, pleasant male voice, Yeshui's heart skipped a beat. She looked up at me in disbelief. You don't mind that our house is shabby. Yeshui felt a little more at ease. Dad already told me what happened. This is our little sister, Jiai. Mrs. Ye came back from grocery shopping and went into the kitchen. She seemed to be avoiding talking to me. I sat on the small sofa with Mr. Ye. The other three sat cross-legged on the floor. The space felt really cramped. Mr. Ye sighed heavily. You can see what our family's situation is like. We're crammed in this 60-square-meter apartment. I'll rent you an apartment outside. I'll give you living expenses every month, too. I looked at Mr. Ye calmly. Don't you welcome me to live at home? Mr. Ye hurriedly explained. Of course not. We're just worried you won't get used to it. After getting permission to stay at home, I looked really happy. If you don't mind, I'll live here from now on. Yeshui suggested getting a big bed for me. I can just sleep on the sofa in the guest room. I even plan to renovate the layout of the house. When Yejai heard she'd get a new desk, she jumped up and down with joy. Mrs. Ye came out of the kitchen carrying dishes. Dinner's ready. There was delicious fish soup on the table and really big boiled shrimp. Yejai's eyes lit up immediately. This is her favorite dish. We only get to eat it during festivals and holidays. I'm used to eating all kinds of fancy food, so I don't have much thought about this spread. But I can feel the effort the Ye family put in. The awkward atmosphere faded right away. I didn't bring anything but money when I came. I planned to go nearby to grab 2 sets of clothes casually. Yejaya volunteered to show me the way, so I held my little sister's hand and went out. I used to shop for clothes only in VIP lounges. Picking clothes by myself now is a new experience. I picked 3 or 4 sets of casual wear and bought a pair of sneakers on the way. On the way home, holding my little sister, we passed a stall selling candied fruit skewers. I saw her secretly staring at the glass cabinet, then sensibly looked away. So I bought her a strawberry-flavored one, holding the candied skewer in her hand. Yajai's face was full of joy. She grinned and held it up to me. "Brother, you have one too." I froze slightly for a moment. I ruffled my little sister's hair. I don't like eating sweet things. Yajaya counted the strawberries on the bamboo stick. Me, eldest sister, second sister, mom and dad, we can each get exactly one. I chuckled and agreed. I led my little sister back to the residential community. I saw Yazixi rummaging around from afar. She picked up a doll from a tattered cardboard box. Hearing the sound of my footsteps, Yazixi panicked and hid the doll behind her back. She watched me walk towards her step by step. My expression was completely calm. "Don't hide it, I already saw it." Yazixi lowered her eyes, like a kid who did something wrong. She slowly took the doll out. Muxwan used to love this doll very much. He had to hold it to sleep every night. I never thought he would even abandon this. This is far from the only thing he abandoned. My casual, flat remark pierced right into Yazixi's heart. People only wake up when they feel the pain. I sighed silently in my heart. "If you want it, just take it back." She threw the doll back into the cardboard box and forced a bitter smile at me. The small electric fan creaked as it spun in the summer night. The shabby windows with extremely poor sound insulation let in noisy sounds from the neighbor's house. When I woke up at midnight, I heard voices outside. It was Ye Shui whispering with her parents. "Muchin probably can't get used to this bed. I heard him tossing and turning last night. Let's buy him a good mattress. My scholarship will be issued next week. I'll pay you back then." The 3 of them spoke very softly, but I heard every word clearly. After I changed my clothes and walked out, Yeshua and Father Ye had already gone out. "Where did Dad and eldest sister go?" Mother Ye poured a cup of warm water and handed it to me. "Your eldest sister went back to college early. Your dad is working as a ride-hailing driver. He dropped your eldest sister off at the train station on the way. Morning train tickets are cheaper." Yeshua obviously did this to save money. She's someone who is extremely thrifty on everything, but she was worried I wouldn't sleep comfortably. So she decided to spend money on a soft mattress for me without hesitation. I had a weird feeling in my heart. Yazixi went to her part-time job early in the morning. Yejaya went to play with other kids in the community. Mother Ye went to a manual workshop to do odd jobs. I was the only one left at home. I stood up and pulled the door open. Sumanyu rushed in with her tools in a hurry. "Dude, I didn't even eat breakfast." I showed her around the whole house and told her my requirements for the renovation. Sumanyu's face scrunched up. She looked very troubled. "Even your old mattress cost more than 20,000 yen. Now you want me to redo the whole house with 20,000 yen. I leaned against the doorframe with my arms crossed. "If it was easy, why would I bother you?" After measuring all the data of the whole house, she had a rough layout in her mind. We went back to the living room and sat down. Sumanyu closed her tablet. "Are you really sure you want to stay here? Got tired of all the fancy food?" I smiled meaningfully. "Do you know why the Yi family went bankrupt back then? I heard a little gossip about it. They said when Ye Shui was working a part-time job, she offended the boyfriend of the 3rd young lady of the Mu family, so the 3rd young lady made the Ye family go bankrupt. That is indeed the case on the surface, but I know the truth better than anyone else. Ye Shui was not the one who caused the bankruptcy. Suddenly there were sounds coming from outside the door. I saw Father Ye walk in a hurry. "Aren't you out taking ride-hailing orders?" I forgot my phone charging cable. His gaze fell on the person next to me. Father Ye thought the girl in front of him looked familiar. I took the chance to introduce her to him. "This is my friend Sumanyu." I invited her over to look at the house layout. Father Ye was completely stunned. He had heard of Sumanyu's reputation before. She's a well-known genius designer in China. She has won many awards at a young age. How many people pay a fortune to commission his designs? Sumanyu doesn't even spare them a glance. "All right, I won't disturb your work. I'll just grab a charging cable and leave." Father Ye was afraid of disturbing Sumanyu's work. He took the charging cable and left in a hurry. The two didn't chat about anything else. Sumanyu hurried back to draw design drafts. I packed up my documents and materials. I dropped by the handicraft workshop on my way. 7 or 8 women were busy working inside. They stuck labels while chatting about daily stuff. I stood at the door and yelled inside. "Mom, I'm going out to run errands. I won't be home for lunch." Mother Ye smiled gently and kindly. Remember to come home early tonight. I walked through the crowded intersection by the wet market. A black McLaren was parked by the roadside. I pulled open the back door directly and sat down. The girl next to me had gentle and soft features. Ever since she spotted me from far away, her eyes never left me. You're so cruel, young master. You only told me about such a big thing now. I curled the corners of my mouth slightly. Weren't you abroad before? What's the use of telling you earlier? Liu Ruyan let out a meaningful "oh." So you're upset that I didn't stay with you. You're throwing a tantrum at me right now. I was amused and speechless at the same time. Where did you learn those overbearing CEO lines? You haven't contacted me for so long, young master. I had to coax myself, didn't I? I poked her palm with my fingertip. Stop messing around with me. Are you getting used to living with the Ye family? Definitely not very used to it yet. I barely slept well last night. I leaned against Liu Ruyan's shoulder. Listening to her soft, low voice, I relaxed completely right away. My voice got softer and softer. I asked Sumanyu to check the layout already. The renovation can start tomorrow. He's as fast as always. If you can't sleep well, come stay at my place tonight. She didn't hear me give a reply. She lowered her head slightly to glance at me and found I was already fast asleep. She curled her lips helplessly. She told the driver to turn up the air conditioner. The car was filled with the scent of citrus. That scent always makes me feel relaxed when I smell it. I slept on Liu Ruyan's shoulder for 2 hours. The car had been parked outside the service hall for a long time. Liu Ruyan held my hand gently, waiting patiently for me to wake up completely. Only then did she walk into the service hall with me. The household registration transfer process went very fast. Liu Ruyan handled all the procedures. After all procedures were completed smoothly, my household registration was under the Ye family's name. It was officially printed on Father Ye's household register. When I was cutting steak at a high-end restaurant, my phone pinged. I received a text message. The Mu family transferred 3 million yen to my bank card. 3 million yen to buy your silence. Liu Ruyan lowered her head to cut her steak. There was a cold sneer in her tone. It sounded a little unclear in meaning. I never wanted their money anyway. Taking this hush money, the Mu family don't have to worry about me spreading rumors. I don't have to guard against them making trouble either. Everyone gets to be comfortable. Liu Ruyan drove me back. The car was still parked at the intersection by the wet market. Liu Ruyan ruffled my hair. The tenderness in her eyes was so sweet it was cloying. Until I turned and walked into the wet market, Liu Ruyan told the driver to drive away. When I got back to the old residential community, Yazixi also just got off her part-time job. I quickly washed my hands and sat at the dinner table. I've never eaten this kind of pickled cabbage fish before. The fish slices are super tender. The pickled cabbage is very crisp and tasty. Sour, spicy, fresh, and fragrant. It makes people's appetites soar. This is the fullest I've eaten in 17 years. I even drank 2 bowls of fish soup alone. Mother Ye was grinning from ear to ear. I'll learn to cook other new dishes tomorrow. I called No. 1 City High School. Earlier today, if you're willing to study at No. 1 City High School, you can take the vacant spot left by Muxuan. Yazixi said this very carefully, afraid she would use the wrong words. Mentioning Muxuan would upset me. When talking about transferring schools, Mother Ye lowered her eyes and pursed her lips. Our family's financial situation is really not good enough to afford your continued study at Shenghua. We're really sorry we let you down, kid. I really don't understand the Ye family's way of thinking. They feel sorry for me because their financial condition is bad. The house is too small, so they feel sorry for me. They also feel sorry for not affording the elite school. What's there to be sorry about? You should fight for what you want on your own. You'll never get ahead if you count on others, even if that person is your own family. That's the lesson I learned from the Mu family. Thanks for handling the school transfer for me, second sister. But I will continue to stay at Shenghua. Before Mother Ye could voice her worries, I already knew what was on her mind. I raised my hand slightly to stop her from speaking. The top student of Shenghua High School can get a full tuition waiver. You don't have to feel sorry for me. I will fight for what I need on my own. Because these are my own benefits. You shouldn't be responsible for them in the first place. Hearing that, Mother Ye teared up all of a sudden. Glittering tears swirled in her eyes. She held back hard to keep the tears from falling and forced a relieved smile. Yazixi calmed herself down and put on a gentle smile again. Since you are qualified to stay at Shenghua, we will definitely support your decision. Shenghua is not far from No. 1 Municipal High School. I will pick you up after school from now on. After dinner, Yazixi went to the kitchen to wash dishes. I went back to my room to review my lessons. The next morning, after breakfast, the whole family went out for work and school. I called Liu Ruyan last night to ask her to lend me a driver. The car is already parked at the intersection right now. After waving goodbye to Mother Ye, the three siblings walked to the intersection and got in the car. Yazixi saw the car they were about to take. I glanced at the Toyota logo. I asked Liu Ruyan to send the cheapest car she had. Who would have thought it's the latest Alford? It is indeed cheap for Liu Ruyan, but compared to the beat-up second-hand car of the Ye family, this car is ridiculously expensive. Is this your friend's car? Yazixi found it a little unbelievable. You can still get people to serve you on call after leaving the Mu family. Are you still the young master of the Mu family or not? I looked totally calm, not panicking at all. I just felt helpless about Liu Ruyan's arrangement. Yejai sat obediently in the back seat by herself. Second sister, send me your part-time job address. Only then did Yazixi suddenly realize the driver started the car steadily. I held my phone and texted Liu Ruyan on WeChat. Did you just buy this car? It takes over an hour to get to number 1 municipal high school. I was worried you'd feel uncomfortable sitting for too long. Plus, I can also use it to take naps on usual days. I looked at the screen and said nothing more, even though I knew she bought it specially for me. After dropping Yazixi off at the Western restaurant, the car drove smoothly on the road again, heading straight for Shenghua High School. When I got home in the evening, dinner was just ready to serve. The whole family sat around the dining table chatting. These past few days have been pretty surreal for the Ye family. First, the world-renowned designer Su Manyu actually came to renovate our house willingly. They got to know me, their son, all over again. Even after moving back to this poor home, I still stay calm whether in favor or humiliation. It's because my confidence never relies on the Mu family, but comes from my own strong capabilities. After dinner, I took a shower and went to bed early. Only the Ye couple were left in the living room. Mother Ye pressed her lips and thought for a long time, as if she had finally made up her mind. We can't always underestimate Mukhin's connections. We should also work harder while we are not too old yet. Father Ye nodded in complete agreement. These 2 days since Guchen came back, I have also thought a lot in my mind. To let this family live a better life, we really shouldn't settle for the status quo. Driving ride-hailing cars only earns hard money. At the end of the day, we need to run our own business. Mother Ye sighed, with a worried look on her face. But running a business is really hard these days. Father Ye held his wife's shoulder tightly. His tone was especially firm and powerful. We succeeded once before, so we can definitely succeed a second time. Let's look into the market situation first during this period. Doing good preliminary research is more reliable. The next morning, Father Ye took the little sister to school. Shenghua, where I study, is the top private school. It's just across the road from number 1 municipal high school where Yazixi studies. We two decided to take the bus to school together. The bus stop is not far from the community. There were still a lot of empty seats when we got on the bus. Yazixi swiped the card twice for the bus fare and guided me to the empty seat at the back to sit down. I stared at the bus card on her backpack zipper. This is my first time taking a bus in my life. It's also my first time seeing this kind of bus card. It looks pretty convenient. Where did you apply for your bus card? I also want to get one to hang on my backpack. Yazixi was silent for a few seconds, then took off the bus card and handed it to me. You have to go to the Civic Service Center to apply for a card. You can use mine first for now. Then how do you take the bus every day? You can scan the code with your phone to pay the fare now. Yazixi smiled very gently. She saw that I was very curious about this card, so she just took it off and gave it to me to play with. I hung it on my backpack casually. More and more people got on the bus one after another. At this time, apart from students and office workers, there are also lots of elderly folks rushing to the morning market to snap up eggs. The carriage gets super crowded when there are too many people. The air inside the carriage is stuffy and doesn't circulate in summer heat. It gives off a gross, sour stench of sweat. Mukshawan used to hate this smell so much. He hated squeezing onto the bus with other people. Yazixi glanced at her pale-skinned younger brother next to her. I sat quietly leaning against the bus window. The breeze outside brushed against my sideburns. Those bright eyes stared curiously out of the window. Yazixi thought this overly mature younger brother of hers actually has a really cute side. Bus drivers always drive super aggressively. To make sure students don't get late for school, we only took 40 minutes to get to the school stop. The stop is right at the gate of number 1 municipal high school. Yazixi insisted on walking me to the school gate herself. We had plenty of time, so we walked over slowly. Lots of luxury cars zoomed past us on the way. Sometimes people rolled down their windows and yelled greetings to us. Yadzixi immediately got it. Looks like her younger brother gets along really well with people at school. She was worried earlier that once people found out his identity, they would gang up to exclude him and make him feel wronged. We walked to the grand gate of Shenghua High School. Yadzixi felt a little awkward to walk further in. I'll come pick you up after school this afternoon. Noticing Yadzixi looked a little nervous, I nodded with a smile and agreed. A tall figure ran over quickly. I swayed a little from his enthusiastic hug. Lin Jiajun wrapped his arms tightly around my shoulders, but his eyes were fixed on my second sister next to me. I couldn't help coughing softly to remind him. Lin Jiajun froze for a second before he realized what he was doing. He recognized this was the second daughter of the Ye family. He immediately stood up straight and fixed his clothes. I'm Mu Chen's classmate, and Lin Jiajun is also his personal bodyguard now. I tilted my head confusedly and asked, "When did you become a bodyguard?" Lin Jiajun leaned close to my ear and whispered, "Miss Liu specifically ordered this. She's worried people will bully you after finding out you're not the real young master of the Mu family." After saying that, he stood straight again. He slung an arm over my shoulder, grinned at Yadzixi and promised, "Don't worry at all, second sister. I'm a Taekwondo black belt. No one dares to lay a finger on Mu Chen." Yadzixi looked at the cheerful, sunny boy in front of her, a warm and gentle smile spreading across her face. "Thank you so much for taking care of Mu Chen, then." Lin Jiajun felt like it was spring all of a sudden. He quickly waved his hands with a blushing face. "Hurry back to your school for classes, second sister." He watched Yazixi's back as she walked away. Lin Jiajun was still being a lovesick fool. "Does your second sister have a boyfriend? Would she mind me being your second brother-in-law?" I sighed helplessly. "Did you forget you have a fiancé? Do you want my second sister to be the other woman?" Hearing this, Lin Jiajun immediately howled up at the sky. I glanced at the luxury watch on my wrist. "The bell will ring in 15 minutes. I don't want to be late with you." I sped up, walking towards the classroom. Lin Jiajun hurried to catch up with me. "I heard the Yi family went bankrupt. They owe a lot of money. They moved to a shabby old apartment building now. Can you even live in a place like that? How about I give you that small villa of mine? I'll also get you a full-time driver and nanny. If I really want to move, you don't get to show off first." Lin Jiajun got annoyed right after hearing that. "Miss Liu can give you stuff. Why can't I?" "I'm your sworn brother for life, dude." He hooked his arm through mine, clinging to me tightly. I felt helpless but also amused. When did these people get obsessed with poverty alleviation? They keep giving out luxury cars and villas for no reason, even offering drivers and nannies. They act like I'm super miserable after leaving the Mu family. While chatting, we walked to the classroom door. We just stepped into the classroom. The previously noisy classroom went dead silent immediately. Everyone looked stunned, staring straight at me. Did I get disfigured or something? "Why are you all looking like you've seen a ghost?" Hearing my familiar teasing, everyone sighed in relief and burst out laughing. "Which plastic surgery clinic would dare touch your face? Is that thing for real? Looks like you all already know about it." I walked back to my seat calmly and sat down. When Shen Mingxi saw me, he quickly moved his chair, leaned over and whispered, "Any small news spreads like wildfire in our circle. I have an empty apartment under my name. It's definitely better than where you live now, right? You can stay there for now to make do." Before I could say no, Lin Jiajun smacked him. He didn't even accept my villa. Shen Mingxi curled his lips. He couldn't win against this super aggressive guy. The group joked around noisily. They didn't even notice when their head teacher Zhou Shuimei walked in. "What top secret national stuff are you chatting about so enthusiastically? Your class is the noisiest on the whole floor." Noticing the teacher looked unhappy, everyone hurried back to their seats and sat properly. Nobody dared to make a single sound. Shenghua is a top private elite school. All students come from wealthy and powerful families, but they are not that different from regular students. They also fear and respect strict teachers. They are also scared of getting disciplinary records. Outsiders think elite school kids just slack off all day and only care about showing off wealth and keeping up with others. But the truth is, they have even heavier schoolwork. Besides the regular Gaokao subjects, they also need to learn things like business management and equestrianism. The founder of Shenghua is a top-tier powerful figure. They are extremely strict with students' conduct. Any disrespectful behavior towards teachers will lead to very severe punishment. Not only will the student himself be punished, even their family business will be affected. I'll let you off since it's the first day of school. Be smart in this final year. Don't go looking for trouble. Do you hear me? The whole class yelled in unison that they did. We have a new transfer student joining our class this semester. Student Mu Xuan. Let's give him a warm welcome. Everyone's faces instantly turned weird. They all turned their eyes to the podium at the same time. Lin Jiajun winked at me. I just smiled casually. My I'm just here for the show vibe was hard to figure out. After a few days of intensive etiquette training, Mu Xuan finally acted a bit like a young master. He put on what he thought was a perfect smile. He introduced himself calmly and unhurriedly. I'm Mu Xuan. I was switched at birth by accident when I was little. Now I've finally found my biological parents. I hope I can get along with everyone well in the coming year. Mu Xuan was wearing a custom-made casual suit. He put on a gentle and refined act. If this were his old school, #1 city high school, he might be popular as the young master of the Mu family. Too bad this is Shenghua, full of hidden talents. His little cheap tricks are nothing here. As soon as he finished speaking, the whole class fell dead silent. That pretentious look of his pissed Shen Mingxi off. He casually threw out a sarcastic remark. The real young master of the Mu family is really something else. Just reunited with his biological Mu family, and already kicked Mu Chen out of the house. Hearing that, Mu Chen, his eyes flickered sharply. He immediately switched to his usual wronged innocent victim persona. He lowered his eyes, looking like he'd been struggling for a long time. I thought after my foster parents raised him for 17 years, he'd be reluctant to leave mom and dad. I didn't expect he asked dad for 3 million yuan, and left without even looking back. I really don't understand it. How can my brother be so heartless? How can you be so heartless? A loud shout echoed through the quiet classroom. Mu Xuan turned his head in panic to look over, and saw Lin Jiajun eyes full of rage, and me next to him, smiling calmly. Head teacher Zhou Shuimei frowned unhappily, staring at Lin Jiajun, who'd slammed the table and stood up. Sit down right now. Mu Xuan suppressed the slight upward twitch of his lips. He twisted the corner of his clothes, looking like he'd suffered a huge injustice. My foster parents' family is financially strained. The huge drop in living standards hit my brother hard. It's normal that he resents me for it. Zhou Shuimei didn't speak up for Mu Xuan. This is a school with strict rules. It's her responsibility to discipline students' words and actions. Shenghua students will become top talents in their industries in the future. Teachers who work here are no ordinary people. Mu Xuan's cheap tricks. Zhou Shuimei saw through them instantly. She just didn't bother to expose him in public. Let me remind you, Shenghua is not a place for you to mess around. Also, remember to wear your school uniform tomorrow. Sneering, quiet laughter instantly broke out below the podium. Misa nodded awkwardly. He hurried off the podium to find an empty seat. There was a commotion in the classroom. Everyone was chattering and gossiping. Mu Xuan looked around left and right nearby. The other students were talking about business investment, but he couldn't understand any of it. He felt totally lost and out of place. He finally shifted his gaze to the middle of the crowd. What's that hanging on his bag? The former young master has fallen on hard times. He even takes the crowded bus to school now. That previous tuition-free scholarship he got, looks like it's actually useful now. I wouldn't have remembered if you didn't mention it. The scholarship and the financially disadvantaged student quota, they've all been arranged for Brother Chen. I felt helpless and amused after hearing that. I was just about to stand up and walk over. Mu Xuan spoke up accusingly with a righteous look on his face. You guys are going too far. Everyone looked at Mu Xuan confusedly. I'm already really close with these guys. I'm pretty easygoing normally. We're just messing around as usual. Who does Mu Xuan think he is to make a big deal out of this? Lin Jiajun thought Mu Xuan was out of his mind. Didn't even want to pay attention to this real young master. I know your birth parents' family is poor. You're used to living like a rich young master. You definitely can't stand going back to the Ye family. I can go beg mom and dad for mercy. You just bow your head and apologize properly. They'll definitely agree to let you come back. Mu Xuan acted like he was really looking out for me. Other people usually think he's innocent and kind, while I, the fake young master, don't know what's good for me. But the air around us suddenly went silent. Everyone was watching like it was a show, staring at Mu Xuan without saying a word, like they'd seen some weird creature. After a long moment, Lin Jiajun turned to look at me, suddenly asked in confusion, Doesn't he feel embarrassed? I'm even embarrassed for him. After everyone heard that, burst out laughing. That really did sound super awkward. I'm genuinely doing this for your own good. The Ye family went bankrupt. They can't give you a good life. Mom and Dad are actually really nice people. They're just really mad right now. They're upset you don't value old feelings. Took the money and left right away. Go apologize to Mom and Dad. They'll definitely let you come back to the Mu family. I laughed speechlessly after hearing that. I lived in the Mu family for 17 whole years. I know the Mu couple better than Mushen does. They don't even care that much about their own biological son, let alone me, who's just an adopted son. Su Manyu is going to design a room for me. How come I never heard about this? I raised the corner of my mouth meaningfully. Mushen lowered his eyes, smiling shyly. I told them they don't have to do that too, but they said they've treated me poorly for too long. They have to make it up to me properly. Insisted on hiring the best designer to renovate it. Made a big deal out of making it exactly how I like. I put my phone on the table and turned on speakerphone. You really hid that well, huh? An angry roar came from the phone. That's all total bullshit. When did I ever agree to do that design? It's Mushen, right? I told him to leave when he called yesterday. Can he not understand words? Or is he just stupid? He even said he's the young master of the Mu family. Said he'd pay me to shut up and do the work. Said the Mu family is someone I can't afford to offend. Who cares about his lousy money? I don't care if it's the Mu family or the Hai family. Whatever his status is, dares to order me around. Spreading rumors everywhere, bringing down my reputation. Can he even compensate for that kind of loss? The voice on the phone was full of sarcasm and anger. Lin Jiajun immediately hung up the call. He raised an eyebrow at me like he'd done me a favor. I smiled and gave him a thumbs up. Everyone there was super sharp, no exceptions. With all these peers in the same circle, they know exactly what each other are thinking. Everyone came to Shenghua not just to study, but also to build high-quality connections. The people they'll work with in the future are all around them now. Building good relationships with valuable people is super helpful for inheriting the family business later. Who's actually valuable and who's faking it doesn't matter to them at all. What matters is if that person has any value. People who are at the top of their grade will definitely be a big shot later. This is a great chance for them to build connections. I might not have the Mu last name now, but if Mushen leaves the Mu family, he's basically nothing. Everyone originally had no bias against Mushen. They could have been friendly with him out of respect for the Mu family's power. Too bad he's way too impatient. He even dared to provoke me first. We stayed silent because we didn't bother calling him out. Didn't want to waste time on useless people. But Mushen kept coming over again and again. Then no one can blame them for being ruthless. The atmosphere got a little heavy and awkward. Mushen's face instantly turned pale with anger. The corners of his eyes were red with grievance. Looking helpless and super pitiful, some people are willing to stand up and protect me. Of course, there are also people who can't stand me. Lin Ziyan stood up to defend the underdog. You guys are going way too far. Is it fun to make a fool of someone like this? Mushen was just too worried about you. The Ye family is bankrupt now. He just wanted to help you out. Do you have to push him out like this? Everyone looked over speechlessly. They knew exactly what Lin Ziyan was thinking. Lin Ziyan looked angry on the surface, but he was actually over the moon inside. After all, he's always been one step behind me. Now that the Ye family suddenly went bankrupt, he can finally be one step ahead of me, so he started putting on this act. He can also get on the good side of the real young master of the Mu family. That's literally killing two birds with one stone. Mo Xuan lifted his head in surprise, trying hard to hide the embarrassment on his face. He gave Lin Ziyan a grateful look. Lin Ziyan smiled back gently. A hint of distress showed in his eyes, right on cue, acting like he really treated Mushen as a friend. Just then, someone suddenly knocked on the classroom door. Everyone looked over at the same time and saw Liu Ruyan standing outside the door holding documents. Why is it so noisy in here? Even with Lin Ziyan standing there looking totally awkward, Liu Ruyan didn't even spare him a single glance and walked straight towards me in big strides. I'm just here to deliver something to the young master. Even though she said that, Lin Ziyan didn't dare to talk back at all. Li Ren is the future heir of the family, but the Liu Ruyan right in front of them was already on equal footing with the older generation. Mu Xuan was secretly sizing up the visitor. The girl was wearing simple, clean clothes, with fair skin and stunningly beautiful features. She had an exceptionally elegant aura all over, and a deep red Bodhi seed bracelet on her wrist. When she walked past him, he caught a whiff of faint citrus scent. Mu Xuan was totally shocked. The Ye family's young miss used to be super famous for her looks, but after seeing the girl in front of him, he thought Yazixi couldn't compare to her at all. but she's dressed so simply, she's probably just an errand runner at most. Musen had no idea at all, just the clothes Liu Ruyan was wearing, plus her other low-key accessories, especially that Bodhi seed bracelet, are worth a whole villa in Binhai. Shen Mingxi teased with a smile. What brings you here yourself, sis Liu? Liu Ruyan's eyes fell straight on me, making no attempt to hide the favoritism in her gaze. I'm the young master's personal errand person, duh. Even a single leaf has to be delivered by me personally. Everyone burst out laughing and started teasing us. Liu Ruyan and I weren't embarrassed at all. We were still totally open and casual about it. The whole class knew the relationship between us. Childhood sweethearts. Inseparable since we were little, we both know exactly how the other feels. There's no need to hide it on purpose. We haven't confirmed our relationship yet. It's just not the right time. We want to spend more time on our careers first. Liu Ruyan put the documents on my desk, which immediately made everyone gather around in awe. Everyone crowded over to join the fun. This project proposal is so well done. When Brother Chen takes action, it's always something extraordinary. Looks like this year's spot is definitely yours. My proposal scored way higher than the others anyway. I smiled and said nothing, looking all casual and laid back, like I already had the win in the bag. Mu Shen glanced over from the side and recognized this was the one Ye Jia helped make. This was made by little sister Ye Jia, right? It's just random stuff a kid threw together, and you're using it as key project materials. That's so disrespectful to other competitors. Shen Mingzai gave him a speechless glance. That's such a rude thing to say. This is the top-rated proposal, okay? You're calling this random thrown-together stuff. Mu Xuan was instantly left speechless. I curled my lips and said, my little sister put a lot of effort into this. She prepared this specially for me. How can your empty theories even compare? There was a clear note of protectiveness in my tone. Everyone complained that I was being unfairly protective. Sis Liu, do something about him. Liu Ruyan stuffed both hands into her pants pockets and leaned slightly over my desk. The young master is always the one who calls the shots for me. I'm in no position to boss him around. I couldn't help chuckling after hearing that and hooked my finger around Liu Ruyan's bracelet. Mu Xuan walked over unwillingly. You're not a student of this school, are you? I totally get working to make money. Liu Ruyan squinted her eyes in confusion. I knew Mu Xuan was a little slow in the head, but I never thought he'd be this clueless. Everyone went quiet for a second. Someone actually called Liu Ruyan an errand runner. That's probably the most ridiculous joke of the year. Lin Jiajun was laughing so hard he couldn't stand up straight. You think Sis Liu is just an errand runner? Who even do you think you are to compare to Brother Chen? I also curled my lips speechlessly and took back my earlier thought that Mu Xuan was smart. This guy is really too naive. Naive to the point of being straight up stupid. He actually thought someone who jokes around with rich kids and is respectfully called Sis Liu by everyone could be some average random person. Liu Ruyan looked down at my hand. Suman Yu asked me to pass you a message. The design drafts and furniture have already been picked out. She's asking if it's convenient for you to start construction tomorrow. I lowered my voice a little. I'll get back to her later. Then I looked up and met the girl's deep eyes. You're done handling all the merger cases, right? You need to catch your flight this week, don't you? I let go of her bracelet immediately and poked her arm gently. All right, go get busy now. Don't miss your flight. I'll bring you a souvenir when I get back. Liu Ruyan flicked my chin gently. They spoke in very soft voices. It was like an invisible barrier automatically formed around them. Everyone else stayed away on purpose to not disturb them. They quietly stood by gushing over how sweet the two are. Lin Jiajun rested his chin on his hand. A question mark slowly popped up above Shen Mingxi's head. Do you guys think it's okay to act like no one else is here? The school gate is the busiest spot when school lets out. Lots of street food vendors start setting up shop then. Even though everyone at Shenghua is from rich families, kids this age still can't resist street food. Among all the people coming and going, Yazixi stood out with her gentle, elegant vibe. She looked just like a noble lady from ancient times. There was a faint hint of sadness in her eyes. I think if Zixi acted in a historical drama, she'd definitely steal every teenage boy's heart. Just look at Lin Jejun if you don't believe me. The second he saw Yazixi, he couldn't even bear to blink. Two voices overlapped and spoke at the same time. I looked towards where the voices came from and saw Mu Xuan grinning from ear to ear, jogging straight over to Yazixi.
Seeing Mu Xuan's big bright smile,
Yazixi felt really conflicted right away. She remembered when she used to pick up Mu Xuan from school. He would run towards her just as excitedly. She used to dote on this little brother a lot. Right when the Ye family went bankrupt, nothing had changed yet. They took the bus home together. Sometimes they'd even walk home for fun. Halfway through the walk, Mu Xuan would always beg her to carry him. Zixi would happily carry her little brother all the way home. Mu Xuan would lie on her back and say, "My sister is the best sister in the whole world. I'm the luckiest kid alive." All those good memories shattered in an instant. Mu Xuan's smile was gone before anyone noticed, replaced by a twisted, disgusted look on his face. "I don't want to cram onto the bus anymore. I'm so sick of this. Carry me home? Why are you so useless? You can't even walk a few steps. Can't you just buy a bike? If you don't have money, go get a part-time job." In the end, he abandoned the sister he loved the most, the sister he once called the best in the world. Yet Zixi swallowed hard. She didn't know how to act around Mu Xuan anymore. Mu Xuan didn't notice she was acting off. He was still smiling all sweetly. "I miss so much. The time we spent walking to and from school together. It's a shame I transferred to Shenghua. It feels like none of my classmates like me. They only hang out with Mu Chen." As he spoke, Mu Xuan's smile faded little by little. His eyes started to get red, like I was the one who led everyone to exclude him and made him feel super wronged. The implication behind his words was not lost on Yazixi at all. She thought about how I'd acted the past few days and almost blurted out a retort right away. Mu Chen isn't like that. He's not that petty. Even though I grew up in a rich family for 17 years, I'm super easygoing and generous. I never complained that the Ye family's house was too small, or that the bed plank was too hard. I always praised Mom Ye for her great cooking. I bought candy for the little sister too. I always considered the family's needs and helped out where I could. I really did act perfectly. So perfect that she felt guilty. As an older sister, she couldn't help me with anything. Instead, I was always the one worrying about her. Mu Xuan's face froze immediately. He thought even if I acted unbothered when I left the Mu family. The second I saw that shabby Ye family house, all my spoiled rich kid tantrums would come out. But Yazixi actually had a pretty good impression of me. It seemed like in just 2 or 3 days, she'd already forgotten the brother she lived with for 17 years, and accepted me instead, after hearing Yazixi defend me. Mu Xuan was completely stunned. I curled the corner of my mouth up slightly. Funny, I didn't know. Young Master Mu goes around calling random people his sister. My bright almond eyes relaxed a little, with a hint of danger and sharpness spilling out. "You just like stealing other people's older sisters, don't you?" All the gloom Yazixi felt vanished instantly. A soft, gentle smile appeared on her lips. She didn't even spare Mu Xuan another glance. My eyes flickered slightly. A soft smile slowly spread across my face, watching the two of us siblings walk away. Mu Xuan's eyes burned with intense jealousy, watching our backs as we chatted and laughed. All of this should have been his in the first place. Mu Xuan gritted his teeth in anger. He clenched his fists really tight. His nails dug into his palms and he didn't even feel the pain. His breathing gradually became faster and more ragged, until we were completely out of sight. Did Mu Xuan slowly come back to his senses? Everything he ever wanted. He already has all of it now. He gets to enjoy all the wealth and glory of the Mu family. They're just a bunch of poor losers anyway. He's the real young master of the Mu family after all. When he saw that luxurious villa of the Mu family, all the resentment in Mu Xuan's heart vanished immediately. He let out a smug laugh. Mu Xuan arrogantly ordered Aunt Sun, "What are you standing there for? Hurry up and make some tea." Aunt Sun bowed slightly. Ever since this young master came back, as long as Mr. and Mrs. Mu are not at home, all the servants wait on him very carefully. They don't even dare to breathe too loud. If anything slightly displeases the young master, he will definitely scold them badly. If the tea tastes bad, he makes them replace it. If the food isn't to his liking, he makes the chef cook again. But Mu Chen never lost his temper before. He at least treated them as living people with respect. The current young master Mu Xuan throws cups and plates at the drop of a hat, as if they are not servants at all. But slaves he can order around however he wants. Mu Xuan's malicious voice sounded again. Aunt Sun snapped out of her thoughts and hurried over with the tea. Mu Xuan picked up the teacup and took a sip. The next second he slammed the teacup at Aunt Sun. Aunt Sun subconsciously stepped back half a step, but she still couldn't dodge in time. All the scalding hot tea spilled on the top of her foot. Aunt Sun kept her head lowered and quietly rubbed her scalded red hand. She immediately squatted down to pick up the teacup. "I'll go make another cup." The butler saw everything that happened. The butler pushed the glasses up his nose and walked forward gracefully and spoke in a soft voice, Young master, it's time for your etiquette class. Mu Xuan glared at him furiously. What etiquette class? The butler's expression didn't change. The family recognition banquet is held this weekend. Mr. and Mrs. Mu specifically told you to be on time. Don't make any mistakes at the family recognition banquet. Mu Xuan stood up abruptly. What do you mean by that? Know your own place first. You're just a paid servant of the Mu family. How dare you order me around? The etiquette teacher always has a straight face and carries a ruler. If he does anything even slightly wrong, the teacher scolds him harshly and doesn't care about his status at all. The reason the teacher can be so tough is obviously because Mr. and Mrs. Mu Yaowei are backing him up. The butler nodded slightly in a neither humble nor arrogant manner. The two young ladies will be back for the family recognition banquet. Mu Xuan was stunned for a moment. He heard that the two Mu sisters have bad tempers. No matter what, it's his first time meeting his own elder sisters. He really should put on a good performance. Once he wins over his two sisters, he'll be the real biological son of the Mu family. Let's see who dares to look down on him then. Mu Xuan forced down the anger in his heart and resigned himself to going to the class. Unlike the cold, intense atmosphere at the Mu family, the small Ye family house is full of warmth. The whole family is huddled together happily. They even pick up food for each other from time to time. Everyone is passing the two drumsticks around to each other. Kids get the drumsticks. Adults get the wingtips. People in the middle get the mid-joint wings. Mother Ye smiled and put a mid-joint wing into Yezixi's bowl. Yejai and I each got a drumstick. Yezixi seemed to be in a better mood than usual. Maybe it's because he met Mu Xuan again and felt completely relieved now. I looked at the drumstick in my bowl and felt a rare sense of warmth in my heart. The Mu family is very particular about table manners. The seats are spaced very far apart from each other. You are absolutely not allowed to talk while eating, and you can't make any noise at all. Picking up food for others is even more forbidden. What's more, Mr. and Mrs. Mu Yaowei are often not at home. The two sisters were also sent abroad for further studies. I was often left alone to eat by myself. The Ye family is completely different. Family members share good things with each other. They chat and laugh with each other the whole time, even though they are crammed into a small house of dozens of square meters. The atmosphere is still warm and joyful. It's full of the vibe of real life everywhere. Maybe this is what a real home is like. Mother Ye rubbed her hands awkwardly. She looked a little embarrassed. You kids all have to go to school on weekdays, and your dad also takes orders to drive online car hailing. I also want to set up a stall to do small business, to help lighten the burden on our family a little. I plan to stock up some goods and sell them at the primary school gate. I don't have much experience in this. I don't know if I can run the stall well. She was a spoiled girl in her family before she got married. She only helped with some simple housework occasionally. She didn't have to worry about anything else. When she married Father Ye's business was already doing pretty well, so she stayed at home as a full-time housewife at ease. She never went out to work to earn money before. After the Ye family went bankrupt, she also wanted to go out and find a proper job. But Mu Xuan complained that no one did the housework at home and asked her to stay home as a full-time housewife. Actually, being a housewife is not easy at all. It's all tiring, trivial chores every single day. By the time you finish all of them, the day is almost over. You barely have any free time at all. Watching her family run around tiredly every day, she agreed to stay home and handle logistics support. Now that Mu Chen is back, everyone's super motivated. We want to give it another shot. She also wants to pitch in and do her part. Ye Zixi immediately promised full support. You're cooped up at home doing housework all day. There's not even anyone to chat with you. Setting up a street stall is a great idea. You can do something more meaningful, whether you make money or not. Just think of it as going out to relax. Father Ye put down his chopsticks and held his wife's hand tightly. You've worked so hard all these years. For this family, you never got to do things you enjoy. People always want to realize their self-worth. If you want to set up a stall, just go for it. With the full support of the whole family. Mother Ye breathed a quiet sigh of relief. Then she looked at me, who hadn't spoken this whole time. I thought for a second and answered seriously. Selling stationery requires too many different types of stock, so the cost would be relatively high. Plus, elementary school kids don't have much pocket money. It might take really long to earn back the initial cost. The drop-off and pickup times at our school are fixed. The snack stalls nearby do really good business. You can consider selling snacks instead. There are several schools around that area. You won't have to worry about getting customers. The only downside is setting up in the morning might be tiring. You have to get up super early to prepare fresh ingredients. What I mean is, I'm all for you setting up a stall. Mother Ye laughed in relief. A little hard work is no big deal, but I only know how to cook home-style dishes. I have no idea how to make those fancy snacks. Your cooking tastes way better than food from outside restaurants. Besides, we don't need to go the fancy route anyway. Just make tasty, filling food to sell as breakfast. It'll definitely be super popular. But as for what exactly to sell, I don't really have any suggestions. There are so many snack stalls at the school gate. I've never bought anything from any of them. I never even paid attention to what they sell. As the young master of the Mu family, I had to pay attention to my figure and etiquette at all times. My diet had to be completely healthy. I also had to maintain my image and demeanor 24/7. The Mu family always stubbornly believed. Street snacks would seriously lower their social status. A gluttonous persona would also ruin the Mu family's reputation. During the years I lived with the Mu family, I long ago gave up any desire for good food. So when the Mu family noticed I ate very little each meal, they changed their chefs over and over again. I later realized my loss of appetite wasn't because of the chefs. It was because of the oppressive, cold atmosphere of the Mu family. Yazixi thought for a moment. There was a rice ball seller at the school gate when I was in middle school. Their rice balls tasted really good. It looks like no one sells them there now. If we sell rice balls, we'll definitely get customers. The couple looked at each other. They seemed to think this idea was pretty good. We'll buy the ingredients tomorrow and try making some. You guys will be in charge of taste testing for me. Mother Ye had never been this excited before. Just the thought of earning money for the family made her feel full of energy. Father Ye brought up a key issue. If we're selling rice balls, do we need to customize a food cart? I've seen other people set up snack stalls. Most of them have specially made food carts, where every ingredient goes, is super clear. Yazixi suddenly remembered too. The old shop used a steamer to keep the rice balls warm, but I think we can use a wooden barrel instead, then cover it tightly with a layer of non-woven fabric. The heat retention should be pretty good. Father Ye slapped his thigh happily. Tomorrow I'll ask my biker friends where to get one. Let's discuss what to put in the rice balls now. Tomorrow we'll buy ingredients to test, make, and taste. Yazixi immediately cleared the table. As everyone gathered together discussing excitedly, she'd throw in a funny joke every now and then, making the whole family laugh out loud. I was shocked by how efficient they were. The whole family is super decisive and gets things done fast. We just talked about setting up a stall, and they already have a plan worked out. They're even discussing ingredients and operating costs already. The less people have, the more courage they have to take risks and try things. And oftentimes, it's exactly this extraordinary courage that leads them to success. I was completely caught up in the happy atmosphere. Since I'm part of this family now, I somehow raised my hand and volunteered. The food cart issue. I can figure out a way to handle it. The room suddenly went quiet. Everyone looked straight at me. It made me feel a little awkward. Father Ye frowned slightly. I know you probably have some savings from the Mu family, but now that you're back to the Yi family, you're our kid. Family matters can be discussed by everyone together, but there's no way we'll let a kid pay for things. Even the thing where you asked Sumanyu to design the house, we really owe you a favor for that. But if we bought any expensive new furniture, I'll pay you back for that later, okay? I keep feeling weird inside, probably because I've never known what family love feels like, so it's kind of hard for me to get used to it right now. I happen to have a friend who works in stainless steel business. Maybe I can get a used food cart from him at a low price. I quickly added that point. Only then did Father Ye nod and agree. I then brought up that Sumanyu would bring workers over, so Mother Yi wouldn't be caught off guard tomorrow. The whole family chatted till past 1 a.m. The 3 kids have to go to school on time tomorrow. Everyone took turns taking a shower. I went back to my room after showering. I locked the door from inside and checked my phone. Sumanyu had sent me a message. You can tell the top designer did his best. In the end, for all costs of materials and furniture, he didn't even charge me for the labor fees. I guess he used his own in-house construction team. Sumanyu has never trusted workers hired from outside. That's always been his attitude. Some of them cut corners to rush the schedule and can't meet his standards at all. For high-end interior design projects, he set up his own in-house construction team, so key parts are handled by his trusted people. This cost should be added to the client's bill to recoup some of the costs, you know? But friends don't nickel and dime over stuff like this. I've always thought Sumanyu has a bad temper, but he's super loyal to his friends. He never cusses people out for no reason, like when a client has terrible taste, or when someone doesn't know what's good for them. How is that Sumanyu's fault at all? It's obviously the other person's problem. I transferred the exact amount listed on the bill. I got his message right after the transfer. That guy Mushen is totally out of his mind. Guess what he said on the phone? He actually called me a lower class person. Where does he get off being so arrogant? The Qing dynasty fell ages ago, and he's still dividing people into upper and lower classes. He even tried to threaten me with the Mu family, said if I don't make the design plans for him, the Mu family will blacklist me entirely. That's so ridiculously stupid. Does he think the Mu family is the imperial family or something? I think Chen Jingyi and Mu Yaowei have completely lost it too. They even kicked me out just for him. They love keeping score so much. Mu Xuan just finished his crazy rant on the phone, and an invitation from the Mu family arrived right at my door. Should I go and humiliate him in public? I stared at that last message for a while. I replied with 2 words. Meet at school gate. When Shen Mingxi talked about receiving the invitation, he was obviously gloating. Of course I'm going to the Mu family's reunion banquet. This is such a great show to watch. I'll definitely live stream the whole thing for you. Shen Mingxi knows Lin Jiajun's temper well. You're not planning to crash the party and cause trouble, are you? They can openly say that they've seen through the Mu family's situation, so offending them is no big deal at all. The Mu family has been in business for generations. Their current strength is nothing to scoff at. If you openly provoke them at the reunion banquet and make the Mu family lose face in public, no one will get away with that unscathed. Lin Jiajun probably doesn't get it. Why would I need to lift a finger? Haven't you heard the news? The 2 Mu family daughters are coming back to China. He subconsciously looked over at me, as if looking for an answer from me. My eyes flickered slightly. I'm just a broke high school student now. I don't get news as fast as you guys do. Shen Mingxi raised an eyebrow. His tone was full of teasing. Even if you're broke, you're still a young master. I stopped walking and turned around. When the 3 of us got back to the classroom, we heard Mu Xuan talking right away. My parents are throwing a reunion banquet to introduce me as the young master of the Mu family. I don't have any friends in this circle. I hope all of you can come then. When he saw me walk in the door, Mu Xuan put on a seemingly harmless smile. There's going to be lots of good food at the banquet. My parents bought me lots of new clothes. You can come pick whatever you like. The clothes you bought only fit you. Our Mushin doesn't wear secondhand stuff. And he doesn't care about your so-called good food either. Every time we run into Mu Xuan, I can feel how much my friends have my back. Even though I'm no longer the young master of the Mu family, I still have plenty of people who stand up for me. I didn't spare Mu Xuan a second glance and walked back to my seat. The Mu family's etiquette teacher is really unqualified. You're supposed to invite people in advance. Last-minute invites don't count at all. I hung my school bag on the side of my desk. He twisted his hands together tightly, like he'd been wronged, and felt really upset. I just thought your adoptive family is too poor. You must be having a hard time living there, so I wanted to invite you to the reunion banquet. My parents would probably agree to take you back. You're always apologizing all the time. What did Mushin do wrong to deserve your apology? Mushin immediately shut up and didn't dare say a word. Tears are welling up in his eyes. What a pathetic little fake innocent drama queen. He started this whole thing first, and now he's sniveling like a baby, acting like someone did him wrong? Leans and won't let this chance slip. He stood up right away to speak for Mu Xuan. Mu Xuan is just too kind. He was just worried you're not doing well. Why are you being so aggressive? Lin Jiajun let out a cold laugh. I think he's totally out of his mind. Did he even ask Mu Chen if he wants to go back to the Mu family? He doesn't get to make that fake nice decision for him. Lin Xian's lips twitched a little. We're all in the same circle. He obviously saw that Mu Xuan was faking it. But he's not the same as Lin Jiajun. Lin Jiajun is a one-of-a-kind guy in the class. His parents love each other very much. His family gets along perfectly. Lin Jiajun is set to inherit the family business later on. He has brothers at home. The inheritance isn't guaranteed to go to him. He doesn't think his current fate is fair. That's why he's also looking for a marriage alliance partner. If he can marry one of the 2 Mu family daughters, he won't have to worry about his life ever again. And his family can get in good with the Mu family. Then he'll get more respect from his own family later. But he chose to side with Mu Xuan. Mu Xuan is pretty naive for someone in this circle, but that stupidity makes him way easier to control. But I don't care enough to get involved. Other people's plans are none of my business anyway. As long as they don't mess with me, how complicated high society is. I know better than anyone else here. Less trouble is always better than more. No need to make enemies everywhere you go. No one can tell if the current nobodies will end up at the top of the pyramid later. Thinking of that, I spoke up to break the awkward silence, so Lin Jejun wouldn't offend everyone on my behalf. I looked at Mu Xuan. Let me tell you two things. I have no intention of going back to the Mu family. I'm not interested in fighting for anyone's favor with you. As long as you don't come pick a fight with me, we can all get along just fine. But if you dare cross my bottom line, we'll see if the Mu family can protect you. The sniffling Mu Xuan heard these words. His heart skipped a beat hard. He looked up at me in disbelief and met my calm, confident eyes. He couldn't understand it. There was no trace of sadness on me at all. Everyone in the class still supported me as always. Everyone still calls me bro, and now I even dare to talk this tough. Who the hell gave me this much confidence? What if Liu Ruyan doesn't belong to me? Seeing Mu Xuan staring at me, his eyes full of curiosity, Shen Mingxai was slouching off to the side. You'll never figure it out with that pea brain of yours. He has no idea how capable I am. All he knows is no matter what they want, stuff they can't get even after begging everyone they know. I can always get it for them. Maybe my connections aren't as good as the Mu families, but if you add up all my resources, even if the Mu family is at the top of the Beijing Circle Pyramid, they'll fall off that top one day eventually. Shen Mingxai let out a lazy, cold laugh. If you want to survive in this circle, first you gotta learn to read the room. His tone was a little mocking. Lin Jiajun didn't want to lecture Mu Xuan. He just didn't want Mu Xuan to cause trouble later. For once, he didn't argue with what Shen Mingxi said. Mu Xuan was grinding his teeth so hard they almost broke. His eyes staring at me slowly turned red. Finally, he turned around and ran out furiously. Lin Zian called out to him fake nicely. After he was completely ignored, he curled his lip and said lightly, "If you want to gain someone's trust, you do it when their mental guard is the weakest." He looked at me warily. "I don't do things that don't benefit me. You're worthless to me." Lin Zian curled his lip. Then he walked slowly out of the classroom. To chase after the runaway Mu Xuan, the two annoying people both left the classroom. No wonder they were raised by the Mu family. All they care about is business and profit. They have zero warmth or conscience at all. Mu Xuan gets along with them because they're around the same age. And they've known each other for years. Their trust is built up over years of time. But the Ye family members are to me just strangers who share my blood. How long will I stay at the Ye family? Lin Jiajun was kind of curious about this question. With my personality and capabilities, I'd most likely start my own business after leaving the Mu family. Now that I've gone to the Ye family, I must have other plans. But I definitely won't stay at the Ye family forever. Minors have a lot of restrictions on doing stuff. You can open your own account and be independent at 18. Nothing will go wrong for me before then. I'm not helping the Ye family for no reason either. Don't need to talk more about the renovation stuff. I just wanted to live more comfortably, that's all. This young master isn't used to suffering. I can't keep sleeping poorly all year round, right? I also hope leaving will make me owe less to the Ye family. Lin Zian was standing on the 5th floor corridor of the teaching building. Mu Xuan was crying alone behind the rockery. After waiting for about 20 minutes, Lin Zian slowly walked downstairs. When he was almost at the rockery, he ruffled up his own hair, did 2 sets of high knees, then pretended to be anxious and ran over panting. "So you're hiding here? I've been looking for you forever." He looked at Lin Zian in surprise. How can I even be in the mood for class? Sensing Lin Zian's concern, Mu Xuan never expected someone would take his side. All the grievance in his heart burst out at once. Tears fell like loose pearls off a broken string. I just wanted to get along with my classmates. I never thought everyone would be so biased against me." Lin Zian patted his back gently. "That bunch of people are always like that. They always follow whatever Mu Chen says. I can't stand their stuck-up attitude either. That's why I don't have any close friends in class. I can be your friend." Mu Xuan's eyes lit up with gratitude. He nodded hard and hummed in response. Ever since he moved back to the Mu family, he had no one to talk to about his true feelings. The Mu couple are often away from home. His 2 older sisters are still abroad, other than a bunch of clueless servants. He has no friends at school either. Everyone just kisses up to me all the time. No one can understand how painful this is for him. It's not like I can go chat with a dog, right? Lin Zian held Mu Xuan's hand. "I get you. Going from an ordinary family to a wealthy one, there's so much you need to get used to. You're under way too much pressure. If you're upset later, you can always talk to me. I might not be able to help you much. But having someone to listen to you will make you feel a lot lighter." Mu Xuan squeezed Lin Zian's hand back. everyone in class favors Muchen so much is that because of Liu Ruyan isn't even a student in this class, but everyone in class respects her a lot. That means there's some sort of deal between them and me. I don't rely on the Mu family's status. It's because I have a good relationship with Liu Ruyan. They say I can get by just fine even if I go bankrupt. Liu Ruyan does play a part in that, but Lin Xian doesn't know that much about it. So he spoke vaguely. Muchen, Liu Ruyan, and Shen Mingzi have known each other for many years. Their relationship isn't based on interests. Especially Liu Ruyan and Muchen, they're childhood sweethearts. Though they're not officially a couple yet. Just looking at these two. Plus Lin Jiajun, the undisputed heir of the Lin family, who is completely on Muchen's side. Their brotherhood is closer than many blood brothers. With these two backing him up, who would dare to offend him? Lin Xian had to admit, Muchen is an outstanding person himself. Lin Xian didn't say this last sentence out loud. Mu Xuan then thought that Muchen could call all the shots, all because of support from Liu Ruyan and Lin Jiajun. Is the Liu family very powerful? Lin Xian answered his doubts for him. The Liu family is one of the first top wealthy families in Jing City. Their assets and influence are almost the same as the Mu families. The two families have very close business cooperation. But the heads of the Liu family, that is Liu Ruyan's parents, got into a car accident a while back and haven't woken up yet. Liu Ruyan had to take over the family business ahead of schedule. This is no secret in Jing's upper circle. Liu Ruyan is also a very capable person. She had just graduated from high school back then, gave up going abroad for further study, and directly took charge of the huge Liu family business. There hasn't been a single mistake in the past year, and she runs everything in perfect order. The elders all admire Liu Ruyan from the bottom of their hearts, and respectfully call her little director Liu. Listening to Lin Xian's introduction, Mu Shen wiped his clothes thoughtfully. The Mu family and the Liu family have a close relationship. If Liu Ruyan becomes my fiancé, Muchen won't be able to threaten my position anymore. In an old residential building, Mother Ye is making rice balls today. She needs a lot of ingredients, so Father Ye didn't go out for his driving job and stayed home to help Mother Ye. When Father Ye saw Su Manyu, he was very confused. He quickly stepped aside and invited her in respectfully. Su Manyu walked inside, greeted them politely. She glanced at the busy figure in the kitchen and raised her voice. I'm a friend of Muchen's. I brought workers here to renovate the room. Hope I'm not disturbing you. Mother Ye quickly wiped her hands and came out. Come sit down and have a cup of tea. Su Manyu waved her hand. No need to be polite. Muchen said all the old furniture should be removed. You guys just pack up your clothes and other loose items. If you still want to keep the old furniture, we'll figure out where to put them. I'll get my guys to move them first. Mother Ye and Father Ye exchanged a look. Both of them were confused. Father Ye asked confusedly, What do you mean? Now Su Manyu was stunned too. Didn't Muchen tell you? He asked me to renovate the whole house. He already bought all new furniture. Father Ye's brain was practically overloading. How much would all new furniture cost? Mother Ye grabbed Father Ye's arm, signaling him to stop overthinking first. They're already bought anyway. Don't waste Su Manyu's time. She quickly took off her apron and put it on the tea table. She looked at Su Manyu with a kind smile. Just put the old furniture downstairs first. You don't have to bother disposing of them. We have a big truck. It's super easy for us to move them away. Otherwise, with so much furniture, you'd have to hire people yourselves. Su Manyu speaks very fast. She's a decisive, quick-tempered person. Mother Ye rubbed her hands. I'll go tidy up the master bedroom first. There's not much stuff in there. It'll be quick to sort out. Su Manyu yelled to the workers behind her. 3 of you move the furniture downstairs. 2 of you go in and tear off the wallpaper. The couple will sort the stuff inside the rooms. Su Manyu was supervising the work. Align the edges of the wallpaper properly. What's wrong with your eyes? Why'd you leave such a big gap? Can't you see the wall is shedding dust? Don't you know you clean it first before pasting? You're gonna plant flowers in that gap and let them sprout. Treat the window frame edges properly. If it's crooked, tear it all off and redo it. Every client in the world hearing this would get goosebumps all over. Their hands would automatically move faster. This nitpicky designer, Su Manyu, really lives up to her reputation. The house was in the middle of busy renovation work. Father Ye would help out from time to time. Mother Ye went back to the kitchen to make more rice balls. Miss Su, have a cup of tea. Mother Ye poured a cup of tea and brought it over. Suman-yu was standing with hands on hips, scolding people. Her anger faded immediately when she heard the voice. She turned around and took the cup with both hands. Thank you, Auntie. You don't have to be so polite, Auntie. Muchin and I have known each other for years. Just call me Xiaosu. Mother Ye thought this kid was very polite. Not as hard to get along with as she imagined. I'm planning to set up a stall to sell rice balls. I'm testing recipes at home today. I didn't cook lunch either. If you're hungry, would you like to try some? Suman-yu didn't stand on ceremony at all. I'm actually a bit hungry right now. A smile spread across Mother Ye's face. She glanced at the busy workers again. Why don't you guys take a break? There are so many of you. Won't that be too much trouble for you? Not at all, not at all. I just want more people to give me feedback. Since Mother Ye said so, Suman-yu told everyone to stop working. Have something to eat before you continue. Mother Ye went to the kitchen and brought out the rice balls. There are several flavors. I cut each one in half. Everyone have a taste. And give me some feedback. Before Suman-yu even took a bite. She was already praising the fillings nonstop. Most rice balls sold outside use frozen ingredients. Hardly anyone uses fresh ingredients like you do. After she tasted it, she gave a thumbs up. This is so delicious. She heaped so much praise on Mother Ye that she was on cloud 9. She really knew how to make people feel good. The workers also enjoyed the rice balls a lot. The workers went back to work afterwards. Mother Ye asked Suman-yu to sit down and have tea. Suman-yu could tell Mother Ye had questions to ask. So Suman-yu sat down. How did you and Mushin meet? He's not very old. You've known each other for 10 years already, right? Mother Ye nodded thoughtfully in response. She thought for a while, then said sheepishly, Since Mukin came back these days, we feel like he's very distant from us, even about his daily life. Can you tell us more about him? Now Suman-yu understood. Muchin stayed at the Ye family's house for other reasons, but the Ye family truly treated him as their own, but he never felt family love growing up. So he has a rather cold personality. Even though he acts easygoing, there's still a gap between him and real family members. Mother Ye wanted to care for him but didn't know how. Suman-yu sighed softly. She could tell the Ye parents are good people. She used to worry Mukin would have a hard time at the Ye family's house. She told the Ye family everything she knew. When Mukin was living in the Mu family, his adoptive parents barely paid any attention to him. He was raised by the 2 young ladies of the Mu family, but they didn't spoil him as he grew up. They fought a lot but still cared about each other, and were always playing mind games with each other, so he never got to experience real warmth. That's why he's a bit lacking in empathy. He does have quite a lot of friends, though, to fill the emotional void caused by his lack of family love. He gradually grew to be calm and steady. He's far more poised and well-mannered than his peers. But he lacks the straightforwardness of people his age. The Mu family is barely a proper family. There's no warmth at all there. It's as cold as a machine. The 3 kids they raised, all of them are insanely talented, but none of them think normally. They all have extreme personality flaws. When Mother Ye heard how her son was treated in the Mu family, living such a terrible life there, her heart ached uncontrollably. She thought her son had no worries about food and clothing in the Mu family, and must be very happy. When he came back to this poor family, he'd find it hard to adjust and become distant from them. Only now did she realize her son never felt any warmth. That's why he became so cold and distant. What does Mukin usually like to eat? I really don't know about that. I just heard the Mu family changes chefs very often. No chef has worked there for more than 6 months. School is over, get off the car. Yazixi goes to the elementary school with me to pick up Yejae. Lots of people greet Yazixi when they see her. Did your family strike it rich? Why did you replace all your furniture? Yazixi was stunned by the questions. She subconsciously looked at her little brother next to her. Aren't we just adjusting the layout a bit? And adding one more desk? Why did they replace all the furniture? I blinked. That was Suman-yu's idea. She knows people who work at a furniture brand. It didn't cost much at all. Let's just blame Suman-yu for this. Suman-yu, who was scolding someone, sneezed all of a sudden. She shook her body a little. Must be too much dust here. I should wear a mask next time. When the 3 siblings got home, workers were cleaning up trash in the guest bedroom. 2 of them were replacing the sink in the kitchen. Yazixi and Yejae were totally shocked. There's a new small shoe rack by the door. It's not wide enough to fit a pair of shoes flat, but when you open it, you'll find all the shoes are placed at an angle inside. When you close the door, the angle gets even steeper, which saves a ton of space. although the shoe rack isn't big. It's big enough to hold all the family's shoes. The shoes don't have to be piled under the bed anymore. The shabby walls are now covered with wallpaper. The old, worn-out sofa was replaced with one that matches the house style. It comes with a new glass coffee table. The small table in the corner wasn't thrown away. There's still a vase on top of it, with newly replaced carnations inside. There's a window in the living room. It originally had cloth curtains. Now it's replaced with pure white blinds. It looks much simpler and cleaner now. With the sunlight shining in, the warm-toned space feels super cozy. Sumanyu walked out of the guest bedroom. She was super excited when she saw me. She pulled me over like she wanted to show off her work. Come see the guest bedroom renovation. You'll definitely love it. Ye Zixi and Ye Jai followed them in. They wanted to see how their room was renovated. When they saw the finished result, the two sisters were absolutely stunned. The overall color scheme is fresh sea blue. The entire inner floor is raised with wooden planks to make a tatami mat with storage space. There's no wardrobe anymore, so the space looks a lot more spacious. It's still a bunk bed. The top bed is placed horizontally. The bottom one is placed vertically. There's just a mattress laid directly on the wooden planks. Next to it are the stairs leading to the top bunk. It's much safer than the old vertical ladder. There's a drawer under each step. They can be used to store books and other stuff. A small desk was built at the other corner. Each sister gets one side, so they won't disturb each other. The narrow space was turned into something spacious and nice, and all the necessary functions are still there. She really deserves her title as a famous interior designer. This drawer can be pulled out and used as a bookshelf. Sumanyu explained as she spoke. She pulled out one of the drawers under the stairs. The space inside can hold books vertically. She tapped on the raised wooden plank again and looked at Ye Jiai. Your brother said you love drawing. This material is stain resistant. You can sit right here and draw. Don't worry about getting it dirty. Ye Jiai's little eyes lit up with joy. She thanked them excitedly. Thank you, Sister Sumanyu. Thank you, brother. I finally have my own space. I can draw as much as I want now. Looking at the kid's bright smile, Sumanyu felt a surge of pride. She ruffled Ye Jiai's hair. She was totally over the moon. Sumanyu leaned towards me. For your whole house renovation, design fees excluded. The cost alone is over 50,000 yen. If I hadn't talked their ears off, you'd never get it done for 20,000 yen. You're such an amazing designer, Sue. No one else could have pulled this off so perfectly. Sumanyu immediately held her head up high proudly. If your budget wasn't so tight, I would have definitely ripped out all the floor tiles and replaced all the walls too. I turned to the person next to me and said, I'll treat you to dinner sometime. We just launched the Moonlit Night collection recently. Catching his expectant look, I nodded. I'll send it to you in a couple days. I squinted lazily. After wrapping up all the finishing touches, Sumanyu left with the workers. The Ye couple asked him to stay for dinner. All the outsiders left. The family discussed what to eat for dinner. They'd been busy with the house renovation all day, so the couple had no time to buy groceries and cook. Let's take the kids out for a nice meal tonight. Mother Ye took my hand and held it in hers, and asked softly, Do you like hot pot, Xiaochen? I'm not used to being around people I don't know well, but after thinking for a second, I didn't pull my hand away. I answered Mother Ye's question. Why do you ask? The only time I had hot pot was the year before last, at a group dinner at the hot pot restaurant I owned. The food was pretty good, but the prices were probably not very affordable. Rich people rarely eat hot pot outside, so it closed down after 2 months. I haven't had hot pot since then. Yeah, Zixi suggested, let's go have hot pot then. The one at the street intersection is really good. The ingredients are super fresh. Little brother got the house renovated. We should treat him to something nice. They made the decision quickly. Everyone got ready quickly. The family of 5 walked to the hot pot restaurant. Mother Ye held my hand and wouldn't let go. I felt like she was being much nicer to me than usual. Maybe that's how biological mothers and sons are. We got a big table at the hot pot restaurant. After we sat down, Father Ye handed me the menu, told me to order whatever I liked. I passed the menu to Ye Zixi right away. I'm just here to eat. Everyone laughed. Ye Zixi started ordering food. After dinner, the parents took the little daughter home to rest. The streets were brightly lit at night. Salespeople in the shops were shouting slogans. I brought up a random topic. Why are you still in senior year of high school? The info the Mu family gave me said, you were supposed to go to college this year, but you didn't fill out the college application and repeated your senior year instead. Given the Ye family's current financial situation, no matter what happened, Yazixi should have gone to college and graduated as soon as possible, instead of pulling strings to repeat a year. When I brought this up, Yazixi lowered his eyes and was silent for a moment. Then he gave a faint, self-deprecating laugh. I would find out about some things sooner or later anyway, so there was no need for him to hide it. Do you know why the Ye family went bankrupt? I shook my head. This has to do with the Ye family's bankruptcy. Yazixi ruffled his little brother's hair. When our eldest sister was working part-time at a Western restaurant, the Ye family was targeted for revenge and went bankrupt. The Ye family was pretty wealthy back then, but they'd only been rich for a little over a decade. They couldn't compare to big families that had been in business for generations. Yeshue saw how the family got rich. She never took it for granted and stayed home.
To be a spoiled rich princess.
Instead, she chose to improve herself. She hoped that even without her family's help, she could still support herself and achieve her life goals, so she could help the family business grow even bigger later. That's why, starting from high school, she signed up for classes every long holiday or worked part-time to earn pocket money. She accidentally offended someone she shouldn't have. Mu Xuan always blamed the eldest sister for the bankruptcy, saying it was her fault for always going out. The eldest sister was under a lot of mental pressure. Mu Xuan always said horrible things to her. Yazixi sighed. He looked really upset. Mu Xuan's temper got worse and worse. He even hit the eldest sister once. I tried to protect her, and Mu Xuan pushed me. My head hit the wardrobe. The doctor said I had a concussion. It was right before the Gaokao back then. Though there was nothing seriously wrong with me, I still threw up and felt dizzy from time to time. So I ended up bombing the Gaokao. My parents and teachers all suggested I retake a year. I pressed my lips together, listened through, then asked, "Don't you hate Mu Xuan?" Yazixi lowered her eyes dejectedly and said, "He's the little brother I doted on for 17 years after all. Family don't hold grudges forever, right?" I just never thought he'd cut ties so completely. I got the self-deprecating smile on Yazixi's face. You treat someone wholeheartedly for 17 years, only to get betrayed so badly in the end. Compared to betrayal for profit, emotional stabs in the back hurt way more. Yazixi suddenly looked over at her little brother. Her eyes were soft and gentle. "We're family. We don't have to nitpick over every little thing." Yazixi went on. "We're nice to you. We never expect anything in return. It's only because you're part of our family. We also hope you'll fully accept us one day." I picked the bed closer to the wall. I tucked myself under the covers. New beds are just so comfy. No more sleeping on hard planks, finally. I turned on the small hanging fan. I sat up and called Liu Ruyan. The second the call connected, a low chuckle came from the other end. "What can I do for you, young master?" "Don't tell me you missed me." "I'm just bored out of my mind. I guess I didn't get much family love as a kid. I've always been bad at showing my feelings openly. I've never said stuff like I missed you before. If I have real business, I'll say it straight. When I hit her up to chat when I'm bored, it means I missed her." Liu Rian giggled warmly. The corners of her eyes were flushed pink. "You want to chat for the 5-cent tier, young master? Or the 5 yuan tier? So I have to pay for this. You took the initiative to chat with me, young master. I'm the one who's getting the better deal here." I couldn't help laughing and said, "Then I should charge by the hour. 5 yuan per hour. Aren't you going to give me a friend discount?" Liu Ruyan glanced at the time. "How about 500 for 2 hours? I laughed so hard my chest shook. "You sure know how to do business? All the required documents are signed. I'll send them for notarization tomorrow. The approval should come through in 2 or 3 days." Liu Ruyan stopped what she was doing, leaned back in her office chair and chatted with me. I mumbled a reply half-heartedly. Then I told her about what happened tonight. Liu Ruyan thought it was funny after hearing it. "Are you scared?" It sounded more like a statement than a question. It's like she knows my emotions better than I do. "You're afraid of family affection." I used to crave family love too. My parents focused all their attention on my older sisters. They put all their effort into my sister's education. I was always the one who got ignored. I got the best of everything in the Mu family, food, clothes, you name it. But I still wanted to be recognized. I worked so hard I got top of the grade in every exam. I went to every training class they assigned me, all just to get a compliment from my parents. That hope never came true. When I turned 8, I realized something. Why my sisters were learning business management, while I was taking etiquette classes. My sisters were reading financial reports. While I could only watch foreign language speeches, I would never get access to any business knowledge. It's because I was just a pawn for a political marriage. I only needed to learn to behave myself and end up as a bargaining chip for profit exchange. I stopped expecting anything from family love after that. So when the Ye family showed me care, I thought their actions didn't make sense. I racked my brain trying to find their hidden malice. It was just me running away from it all. She didn't hear me say anything for a long time. You can't figure some things out no matter how hard you think. You deserve every bit of love that comes your way, and you have what it takes to face any changes that happen. There's nothing to worry about. Liu Ruyan made me feel a lot more at peace. The Ye family went bankrupt 2 years ago. That same time, I found out I wasn't actually part of the Mu family. After I told Liu Ruyan about this, she seemed to deliberately avoid using my last name. No matter what your last name is, no matter what happens in the future, I'll always be right by your side. She's the one who gave me the courage to leave the Mu family. The girl's soft, low voice came through the phone. Just keep moving forward, Chen. I'll always be right behind you. You're my trump card, even if I have to bet all my chips on it. Maybe the warning I gave that day worked. For a while after that, Mu Xuan behaved himself and went to class properly. Time flew, and the family reunion banquet arrived. When she saw Lin Jiajun at the banquet, Sun Yahan was really surprised. What are you doing here? Aren't you on Mu Chen's side? I'm here to spy on the enemy. Lin Jiajun always has his bros back. Just passing through. Then he answered Sun Yahan's question. The 2 young ladies of the Mu family are back. Of course I have to live stream this for Xiao Chen. He took out his phone, a little excited, all set to live stream for his bro. After Shen Mingxi walked in, he scanned the whole room. His face darkened. He strode over there quickly. He was just about to speak. When the announcement in the banquet hall went off, it came from Mu Yao Wei's mic on the stage. The group looked over. Mu Xuan was wearing a full white suit. The pampered young master smiled elegantly, calmly, and proudly. Lin Jiajun hurriedly video called his bro. He whispered, "The good show's about to start. The party's starting." Then he panned 360 degrees to film the whole banquet hall. "I know you've got a short temper. What do you think the older sisters will give you?" "Definitely nothing good, that's for sure." I'm sitting at the desk in my room. The desk lamp lights up my fair face. There's a soft glow in my bright eyes. I'm holding back a faint smile. "All right, talk to you later. I'm gonna go grab something to eat. If anything fun happens, send me the video, okay? You can count on me." Lin Jiajun made a gesture to the camera. Then he hung up. He switched to the camera app. Hit the record button. Gonna record the whole thing. Don't want to miss any exciting moments. Mu Yaoi gave a long opening speech on stage. Chen Jingyi stood next to him, putting on a whole dramatic show. Like they actually have a deep father-son bond and a close mother-son relationship. When he was almost done talking, Mu Yaoi handed the mic to Mu Xuan, told him to say hi to everyone. "I'm Mu Xuan. When I learned that the parents who raised me for 10 years aren't my biological parents, I was really surprised too. That speech was so pretentious. 90% sure someone wrote it for him to memorize." Lin Jiajun curled his lip in disgust and rolled his eyes. Shen Mingxi didn't pay attention to what Mu Xuan was saying. Barely anyone there cared anyway. What kind of life he lived the past 17 years. Or how the Mu family found him. Everyone showed up. Only because this is the Mu family's banquet. Doesn't matter if you have business with them or not. The Mu family is the most powerful in the Beijing circle. You have to show them this respect. He noticed Lin Jiajun holding up his phone recording, switching hands every now and then when he got tired. He walked up to Lin Jiajun, leaned in and whispered in his ear. Lin Jiajun instinctively turned to glance at him, only to realize they were way too close. He immediately turned back around. Handed over the phone. Even though they're engaged, both of them just turned adult. Their engagement was a business marriage set up when they were kids. They've always gotten along like bros. No romantic feelings at all. At least that's what Lin Jiajun thinks. Seeing him purse his lips and step aside, Shen Mingxi smiled a little. Super strong fighter. Even childhood sweethearts get shy sometimes. Mu Xuan on stage couldn't remember most of his lines. Shen Mingxi just took the phone. When a loud car engine roar came from outside, even though the banquet hall is on the first floor, it's at the very back of the hotel. There's no way car noise should reach here. Mu Xuan's speech was cut off. Everyone looked at the door confused. With a loud bang, a black Apollo sports car smashed through the door. Everyone screamed in fear, scrambling to get out of the way. The long table with pastries and champagne got hit. Drinks spilled all over the floor. The whole place was a total mess. Mu Yaoi, who was acting like a loving father, looked furious, staring daggers at the sports car. The car screeched to a halt in the middle of the hall. A shepherd dog jumped out of the passenger seat and ran straight towards Mu Xuan on the stage. Mu Xuan is scared of dogs, so he screamed in terror, instinctively stepping back, tripped and fell flat on his face. "Stay away from me." He flailed his arms and legs wildly, but everyone else could see clearly. The border collie stopped a meter away from Mu Xuan. It didn't even try to bite him. The driver's door of the sports car opened. A tall girl stepped out. She was wearing baggy casual clothes. Her long fingers pulled the sunglasses off her nose. She leaned lazily against the car, oozing with unruly confidence. She messed up the whole banquet, but didn't look sorry at all. A lazy, mischievous smile played on her cold lips. "Why are you so snarky, little bro? Your sister was nice enough to give a dog as a greeting gift. Fine if you don't like it. Why'd you have to scold her that harshly? I can't see any kindness from her at all. She looks more like she's here to cause trouble on purpose." She crooked her finger at the border collie. The border collie trotted over to her obediently. It sat in front of her, wagging its tail. Mu Yaoi was so angry her face turned green. "Who allowed you to drive in here without permission? How unruly. Take your dog with you immediately. Get in your car. And get out of here." Moyulu put the border collie in the car. She clicked her tongue twice. "Why are you so angry, Dad? You don't miss your daughter after she's been abroad for 2 years. You got a new son, so you don't love your daughter anymore, huh? Don't make me say it a third time." Muyaoi's tone got a lot harsher. Muyulu looked quite helpless. She got into the car, reversed, and drove away. The eldest daughter, Mooning Shui, walked in at some point. She started calming the guests down. "My little sister doesn't know any better. I apologize for frightening everyone. I've had people set up a banquet hall next door. Please follow me over there." Since Mooning Shui stepped in to smooth things over, everyone was willing to give her some face. No one bothered to look into what just happened, seeing there was no more drama to watch. Lin Jiajun put his phone away. He stopped recording and sent the video over. That was absolutely amazing. Mu Xuan was taken to the lounge by his parents. The atmosphere was so tense he could barely breathe. He twisted his hands together tightly. His voice was as soft as a mosquito's buzz. He apologized shakily. "I was just scared earlier. I've been afraid of dogs since I was little." Mu Yaoi glared at him furiously. "In front of so many people, you were spewing such vulgar garbage. You've disgraced the entire Mu family.